Hey guys, what's going on? This is Awais back with another tutorial of AutoCAD. In this tutorial, I'll be talking about some basic commands in 3D which will help you to create a 3D model. This is not a project-based tutorial, but I'm gonna walk you through for all the basic commands you need to make a 3D model. So I'm gonna jump over to my computer now and we'll start exploring those commands. Alright, so I'm in the AutoCAD right now and I've got few settings done. I'm in a 3D modeling workspaces, so you can see these panels. So let's start discovering a modeling panel first. So the first command we have is the box command. So I'm just gonna click on it and I'll pick a point, and then the second step would be a length and width of the box. So I'm gonna click here, and the third step is going to be height. So you're gonna you can type dimensions or you can just click. So I'm just gonna click to show you guys what we're making. So this is just the general box you can do, and once you select your box you get these vertices, so you can drag and make more length. You can change your height while dragging this vertex. You can just drag any vertex and change your box. I'm just gonna delete that now. If you click on this arrow button, you get few more objects here. So you got cylinder, cone, sphere, all the general objects we get in a 3D modeling software. So I'm gonna show you cylinder. First step is going to be a radius. Second step is going to be a height. So same as the box. So I'll draw a few more objects here. Cone, first step radius, and then height. That's it. So you got that. So you can just increase or decrease your radius. You can change your height by dragging these vertices up and down. Alright, so we got these done. So the second command we're gonna discover is extrude, and if you click on this arrow button, you got loft, revolve, and sweep. So I'm just gonna explain these commands now. To use extrude is the most common command you will use in 3D modeling in AutoCAD. So any object you create in 2D, you can extrude that, but you make sure that it's a group object. So I'm gonna create a rectangle by typing REC, and then I'll type a rectangle here, and now this is a single object, so you can see that the boundaries are closed. So I can select that and it will select the whole object. So I'm gonna select my extrude command. I'm gonna select this rectangle, and I'm gonna press spacebar one time and move my cursor up, so it's asking me the height. You got a few more options. You can taper your angle, you can define a path, or you can define a direction as well, and expression as well. So let's see the taper angle. So I'm gonna click on taper angle. So now as you can see that it's asking me the taper angle. So I'm just gonna click here. I'm gonna drag it also up, and then I can just leave that. So we got the rectangle extruded, but it's got taper as well. So I'm just gonna delete that now. Now I'm gonna show you the path option in Extrude Command. So I'm just gonna type PL for Polyline Command. I'll just draw a polyline, just a random polyline. Let's say that, and maybe that, and I'm gonna select that. I'm gonna hover my cursor here. I'm gonna convert to arc. Now I'm gonna zoom in here, and you can type UCS for UCS command. I'm gonna drop my UCS here, and I'm just gonna randomly drop that. Alright, so now I'm gonna select my Z-axis, and I'm gonna select that vertex, and I'm just gonna drop that vertex according to the line. Alright, so we got X and Y axis wherever we want it. So now I'm gonna draw a rectangle, maybe draw a circle. Draw a circle and about here, right? And now select your extrude command. Select your circle first because that's our object, and then I'm gonna press spacebar one time, and then I'm gonna click on the path option. So we have created a path as a polyline, so I'm just gonna select that polyline, and as you can see that we got our extrusion done according to our path. So I'm just gonna change that to shaded so you guys can see what's going on. So this is our circle and it's going all the way. Alright, now let's have a look at the loft command. So I'm gonna draw a line here, and I'm gonna draw another line here. So if you try to loft this line to this line, it's gonna create a surface. So let's select the loft command. Let's select this line and that line, press enter, press enter. So now we got our surface done. Let's have a look one more thing. Alright, so I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna just make this line a little bit shorter, and now if I loft it, I'll select this line. As you can see that according to that line it will loft. Alright, so now you know how to create surface now. So I'm just gonna draw a rectangle. I'm gonna copy that rectangle on about, let's say about here. I'm gonna type SC for scale command. I'm gonna click, I'm gonna select this endpoint. I'm gonna give value of 0.5. Alright, so now we got that. So I'm gonna select my loft command, select this rectangle, and then select this rectangle, enter. So as you can see that our lofting is done. So you can create surface and you can create a solid model with the loft command as well. Alright, so the next command we're going to look at is Revolve Command. So what Revolve Command do is you need to make a line first, and let's say I'll go to my top view. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'll select my Polyline Command and I just draw a random. Alright, so now we got this kind of design here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to revolve this to according to this angle. So I'm going to go back to my SW isometric view. I'm going to zoom in and I'll select my Revolve Command. So you need to select the object what you want to revolve. So I'm going to select this design and I'm going to revolve this according to this line. So I'm going to press enter one time, and I can specify the axis as well. So that would be Y axis. But I want to show you, you can even pick points. I'm going to pick this point first. I'm going to pick that point. So it's going to ask me to what angle I want to revolve to. So by default it says 360, but you can define 90 or 50 or whatever angle you want to do. If I press spacebar here, so it's going to revolve all the way to 360. And the next command is going to be a sweep command. Go to your home tab, sweep command. So what sweep command do, you can hover over your cursor to the command, which will give you a tooltip. So let's say I will draw maybe a spline. So I'm going to go back to my SW isometric view first, click here, and then I'm going to draw a spline. I'm just going to draw a random spline, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my UCS command. I'm going to drop my UCS about here. So let's make a circle here. I'm going to draw a circle here like this, and I'm going to select my sweep command. I'm going to select this circle object first, press spacebar one more time, and here we have option. You can twist this circle, you can keep the alignment, you can specify the base point. So I'm just going to click here, and as you can see that the sweep command has been applied. I want to show you press pull and polysolid. So quickly I'll draw a rectangle, or maybe I select the box and I just draw a box. And now let's say you want, because it's a box, right? So you can use these vertices. Sometimes when you use Extrude Command, type REC, draw a rectangle, and now I'm going to extrude that rectangle. So I select that, press pull command. Now it's going to ask me to select the face. I'm going to select this face, and I can just press pull it. So as you can see that you can extrude faces as well. And this is very useful command as well in architectural modeling in AutoCAD. Alright, so now we're going to look at this mesh panel. I've got 4 commands here: smooth object, smooth more, smooth less, and refine mesh. So I want to select the box. I'm just going to draw a box here. So what's the main purpose for this command is basically it converts a 3D object to a mesh object. A solid object will be converted to a mesh object. So let's have a look. I'm going to click on a smooth object command. I'm going to select this box and I'm going to press OK. And now let's have a look. So we got our box converted to mesh, and we have so many lines. If I change that to 3D wireframe, now you can see that the box is basically a mesh. So we got a lot of edges I'm gonna change this back to shaded, and let's have a look. Smooth more, done. It's gonna keep smoothing, so you can use this smooth less command, select spacebar, and you can even define the level of smoothing. Jump to the next panel. I've got solid editing panel here. So this is one of the most important panel in solid modeling. So let's have a look. So I'm gonna draw a rectangle, and I'm going to extrude that rectangle, right? Draw a box. So I'm gonna draw a box here, and I'm just here. Alright, so now basically these are two separated objects. So I'm gonna select my union command, click here, press spacebar, and now if I select this box, so it's one object now. Alright, now let's have a look at the subtract command. These three commands called Boolean operations: union, subtract, and intersect. So let's have a look at the subtract command now. I'm gonna select the subtract command. First I need to draw another object, so because it's a one object now, so I'm gonna draw, let's say I'll draw maybe a sphere. So I'm just gonna draw a sphere here, maybe that big is fine. And now I'm gonna I wanna subtract that sphere from this object. So I can select my subtract command, select the object first which you wanna get subtracted. So I'm gonna select that, press spacebar, and the next object, whatever you wanna subtract, select that, press spacebar, and I'm gonna show you what we did actually. So it's been subtracted now. So this Boolean operation is very useful when you're gonna cut your windows edge and door edge in your architectural modeling. So make sure that you get familiar with it. So now let's have a look at the intersection. Alright, so let's make another object here. I'm gonna maybe select this sphere again, and I'm gonna select and make a sphere, and I wanna select my intersection command. I'm gonna select both objects at the same time, press spacebar, and now the object left was object which was covering both objects. Now we're gonna look at this slice command. Go back to your SW isometric view. Now I'm gonna select my slice command. I'm gonna select the box first, pick this point, and you need to pick the middle point, and then pick this point. Alright, so now both planes are done. So it's gonna ask me that specify a point on desired side. So I want to keep the both slices, so I'm going to press spacebar. And now if you go to your 3D wireframe or shaded, if you select this box, so these are basically two separate objects now. You can cut slice as many as you want, so I'm going to show you one more slice here. Select that. I'm going to select this box here. I'm going to select this side, and I'm going to select this side, and then I'm going to select this. So now I've got this slice done. One object here, second object here. So you can use that slice command to slicing the objects. It's pretty useful as well, but you gotta get used to it. Alright, so the next command we got here is thicken command. So let's say I will draw a line about here, turn on my auto by pressing F8. I draw a line here, and I'm going to draw a line here, right? Alright, and I'm going to use my loft command. I'm going to loft these two lines. Done. And now it's a surface, right? To make that a surface, a solid model, you can use that thicken command. I'm going to select that, select this surface, press spacebar one more time, and it's going to ask me specify thicken. So I'm going to give it about 2 inch. And now this surface is being thickened by 2 inches. As you can see that this is not surface anymore. So I select that. It's basically a solid object now. So let's say I'll draw a box here. And now if I go to my 3D wireframe, and now as you can see that this is made up of these lines, right? So sometimes if you want to extract those lines from any solid object, you can do that by selecting that command. So I'm going to select that command, select this object, press spacebar, move this object. So I'm going to type M, spacebar, select my box, and I'm just going to move that about here. So now the box has been moved here. This is a solid object, but when I select these lines, as you can see, these are the separate lines. This is not a 3D or solid model. This is our just extraction line of that box. I'm gonna delete these lines. Alright, sometimes you might wanna copy an edge. So you can do that by selecting this copy edge command. I'm gonna select that and I click on this edge and I press spacebar, and now I pick a point and I just drop it about here. So I've extracted that edge as well. You can color your edge by selecting this color edge command. Let's color this and spacebar. Now it's gonna give me a dialog box. It's gonna ask me to select and color. So I'll give about yellowish color. And now if you go zoom in, it wouldn't show here. If you go to your 3D wireframe, now you can see that that edge has been colored. This is useful when you apply material on your solid objects. Now let's have a look at the imprint command. So what I want to do is, let's say I want to draw a rectangle, but I want to move my UCS to the face. I'll select this face command and I'm going to drop it here. So this is basically our UCS now. Done. And now we got X and Y on this face, right? I'm going to go and type REC and I'm going to draw a rectangle about here. So this is our solid model. This is a rectangle, right? So what I can do, I can imprint that to my solid model. So I'll select my imprint command. I'm going to select this solid model and I'm going to select this object and I'm going to press spacebar. So if I select that, now basically that rectangle is being imprinted to this model. So why it is so useful, if I go to my press pull command and I select this, and I can actually press pull that now. So these are basically, these were the edges now in that model. Next we're going to look at these commands. If I click on this arrow button, I get these extrude faces, taper faces, move faces, copy and all that stuff. So I'm going to draw a box here. I'm going to go to my shaded and let's select this extrude face. Alright, so let's say I will imprint another object here. So I'm going to type UCS face, click enter. Now we got that. I'm going to draw a circle about here and I'm going to imprint that. Right. Now what I can do is I can extrude that face. So I'll select this extrude face command. I'm going to select this face and a starting point at this point and it's going to go all the way here. Alright, so next command we're going to look at is the taper command. So I'm going to draw a box. The reason why I'm applying all these commands on the box because it's a beginner level tutorial. I've got a few more tutorials coming up on advanced level, so be sure to check them out. And now we got the box here, right? So what I want to do, I want to select this taper command, select this face, enter one more time, select this base point, and then it's going to ask you to point along the axis of tapering. So this is the point along the axis here. I'm going to click here and now it's going to ask me to specify taper angle. So my angle would be 45. I press enter and I'll change that to shady. As you can see that face has been tapered. So I'm going to type U, press spacebar to undo. And now the next command we have here is move faces. I'm going to select that. I'm going to select this face, press spacebar. Now it's going to ask me to specify base point. Let's say I'll select this base point and I'm going to basically specify this second point. So that face has been moved. It's kind of same as extrude faces, but the difference between move faces and extrude faces is that if you imprint in something, it is not going to extrude that. The next command we got is a copy face. I'm going to select the copy face command. Let's say I want to copy this face, spacebar, pick a point, and then just drop whatever you want to drop. So these are basically a region. So I will explain region in a minute. So if I just change that to shaded, as you can see that this is basically a region. So if I press X, spacebar, and explode this. It's not rigid anymore, these are separate lines now. Alright, so next command we got here is offset faces. So it's kind of offset command what you use in 2D, it's just a 3D command. Let's say I want to offset about from this face to about here. I'm gonna draw a line here. I'm gonna turn on my auto, and now I'm gonna select my offset face command. Select this face, spacebar, and now it's gonna ask me to specify the distance. I can type the value, but I don't want to type a value now. I want to pick a point. So I want to pick this point all the way to about here, and I click. Now our face has been offsetted. Alright, so the next command we got here is delete face, rotate face, color face. Delete face is just that you're gonna select the face, press spacebar, it's gonna delete the face. Rotate face is the same thing, select the face, pick a point and pick axis, and then give a bit of value, or you can select the rotation angle, it will rotate the face. Color faces is the same thing, that you select the face, it's gonna pop out the dialog box and select the color, click OK, and the face will be colored. Coloring faces is very useful when you apply material, so later on you can apply material by color instead of selecting the layer. Alright, so now we covered pretty much everything here. In the draw panel, it's all about 2D. Check out my 2D tutorials to learn about these tools. So just basically just gonna go through quickly. This is a polyline, spline, that's polygon, line, all that stuff here. So the next one we got modify. This is the 2D based commands as well. The next panel we got is the draw panel. This is basically 2D commands. Check out my 2D tutorials to learn these commands. And the next panel we got is a modifier. This is a 2D based as well, but we got a bit more options. We got 3D move, 3D rotate. So let's say I'll draw another object here. I'm gonna draw a cylinder, right? And I'm gonna draw a cylinder here, and I'm gonna select my 3D move command. So basically what it does, in 2D move you could move only on X and Y axis. In 3D move you can even select the Z axis as well. So that's just the difference. And here we got our 3D rotate as well, so I'm gonna choose that. I'm gonna select that, select this, press spacebar. I'm gonna pick this point as base point. You can hold down shift key, right click and select the node if it doesn't come up, and you need to turn on your object snapping. So I've selected that point, and now what I can do is I can select the axis. So as you can see, I've got this X axis, I've got Y axis in the green and Z axis in the blue. So if I select my Y axis, and now I'm going to select the angle, so I can type, let's say 45 degrees, so that will be rotated. So it's very useful in 3D rotate, so you can rotate objects in 3D. Here you've got your scaling, same 2D command, all that stuff. Next we got coordinates, right? These are the basically coordinates. Let's say world, top, down, top, bottom, left, so you can see your drawing from top, bottom, left and right. So these are basically 2D commands. So here we got view commands. You can change your viewport, all that stuff, and you can change your viewing style as well. 2D, 3D wireframe, X-ray and all that stuff. Let's go try X-ray. This is the X-ray. So play around, you will find out how to do that. You can manage your view style here as well. The next we got a cutting. This is not our topic, but I'm not gonna cover cut. The next panel we got section panel. I'm not gonna cover that in this video. I've got a separate video coming up for this. Next we got layers panel. You know about 2D. If you don't know about layers, check out my 2D tutorials again. Grouping is a 2D base as well. So I'm gonna click on solid tab now. Alright, so in solid tab I'm gonna show you what's the difference. So I've got box, cylinder, sphere, poly, all these same commands, right? I've got extrude, press pull, resolve, all these same commands. I've got boolean operations here. I've told you do these 3 operations called boolean operations. So the panel name is boolean. I've got solid editing, same solid editing as we did in the home panel. Just a few more commands here. You got your fillet edge. So you can chamfer edge, fillet edge as well. So let's say I'll try fillet edge. So I'm going to select that command. I'm going to select this edge, and it's going to ask me to apply a radius value. So it's going to apply the default radius, but I can change that. I can actually click on radius and I can type about, let's say 2, enter. That will change that radius. I can chain that. Let's say I will click on chain. So I'll select more edges with it and I press enter. As you can see that now we got these corners, but these are more smoother now. So it's still a solid object. Now press spacebar one time and that will be finished. Alright, so we got that. The chamfer edge is the same thing, that it's gonna chamfer that instead of filling that. Taper face, all those commands here again. Shell, let's have a look at the shell command. Alright, sometimes you're gonna create a shell within your solid object. So you're gonna select that shell command. I'm gonna select this and I'm going to select my object, press spacebar. Now it's gonna ask me to offset a distance. So I'm gonna try 1 inch, done, enter, enter, done. So our shell is done. If you go to your home and change that to 3D wireframe, as you can see that this box is been empty from this line to this line is 1 inch, so there is nothing after this object. So to show you guys what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut a slice. So I'm gonna select my slice command, select the object, press spacebar, and I'm going to select this line and I'm going to select from all the way there, and then I'm going to select one of the object here at the midpoint. Alright, so now we cut our slice. Now I'm going to change that to shaded. Alright, so now you can see that the box were empty inside by 1 inch. So this is basically a shell command. Alright, let's go back to our solid tab. You've got your shell, you've got your check validates the geometry data in 3D solid. So it's not very useful command. I don't use it. Separates a 3D model from object with non-continuous volume. So that's the same thing. I've got another video about these objects as well. Alright, so pretty much we covered about solid modeling commands. So if you have any question, drop a comment below and I will answer that. And be sure to subscribe and check out my other tutorials on AutoCAD. And I've got a whole lot of tutorials coming up on various softwares. So stay tuned, be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.